Hi Math 1. This video is going to help you review how to write equations of arithmetic and geometric. The first one we're going to talk about is arithmetic. Okay? And so the way that you write the equation is you start with the starting output. After you have the starting output, you're going to put the pattern, okay? Or in this case, since it's arithmetic, plus or minus the common difference. The common difference. Now you do the common difference several times. So how many times are we going to do that? X times. Okay, but you might have to adjust your X, and that would be minus the starting input. Okay. Geometric equations will work very similar. We do the starting output. Okay, so they both start with the starting output. And the starting output always comes from the right side, the Y column. Okay. Now his pattern is not add, subtract. Geometric is a multiply pattern. So you're going to multiply by the common ratio. Okay. Please use parentheses for your common ratio and don't use a times sign. The reason is the equation is going to have an x, and you don't want to have another x for your multiplication sign. Now, geometric means multiply. So if I have 2 times 2 times 2 times 2, I can quickly write that as 2 to the power of 4. Okay, so geometric, okay, write down this little note. Geometric equations have exponents. Okay, the arithmetic ones don't. They have exponents. So I'm going to write to the power of x, but I might need to adjust it. X minus the starting input. Okay, so they have exponents. You have to decide if your situation is arithmetic, then you put everything down on the same level. Okay, there's no exponents down here. But if it's geometric, you have to make sure you have an exponent. Okay, let's look at this first example. They're telling me to call this equation f of x. Okay, so I will call it f of x. The starting input always comes from the y value. So we're starting with a 4. Okay, now I have to figure out what the pattern is. What's happening here? What's happening with these numbers? A 4 turned into a 7 to a 10. They're getting bigger. It looks like they're adding 3 each time. Let's just make sure. 4 plus 3. Yep, each time. It has to constantly be plus 3. So we're going to add plus a 3. But it's not just 4 plus 3, because the plus 3 keeps going and going. Okay, and so now it's time to adjust. So let's look at our table. Our table starts at 0. Okay, so we're just going to have an x. A lot of people like to just stop with x. Some people like to say x minus 0. Either way, it's the same. Okay, so this table was definitely arithmetic. And here's the equation for that table. Let's do it again. The second one. This time they're calling the outputs f of n. So I will call my equation f of n. Okay, f of n. We always start with the starting output. Starting output is 324. The second thing you do is you look for the pattern. Look for the pattern. These numbers are getting smaller. This is really confusing. These are big numbers. Maybe I'll go down here a little bit, 36 to 12, and maybe you can figure out, okay, what's happening. Okay, some people tell me they go up the chart to try to see if they can figure out the number. I'm going to try 324 divided by 3, and it made 108. And then that divided by 3, yes. Oh, but wait a minute. We can't put divide. We have to put multiply by 1/3. Okay, so let's just write a little note here. Okay, remember, divide patterns must be written as fractions. Must be written as fractions. Okay, so the pattern is multiply by 1/3. See how I use the parentheses? Okay, and now it's time for the exponent. Since this is geometric, we're going to put it to the power of, let's use letter n. And do I have to adjust the x? I do. I have to subtract a 1. So when you're writing your equations, okay, maybe we'll just put the steps right here. Okay, so when you're writing the equation, here's the steps. Step one, you find the output, the starting output. The second thing you have to do, okay, is figure out the pattern. Okay, so discover the pattern. Okay, after you do that, it's always time for your variable. And then you ask yourself, okay, when you're doing the variable, do I have to adjust for the table? Okay, do I have to adjust? Do I adjust for the table? Does the table start at 0? Then you do nothing. If it starts at 1, minus 1. Okay, it's time for your practice, and the strategy that you're going to do down here is you take the story or the figure, take the diagram, and you're going to make a nice table to use that to write your equation. Okay, so for this one right here, I would put term on the left column, okay, and then we'll put the value here. Whenever you do these, you could always call this the x column and the f of x column if that helps you. Okay, we have term 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and the values are 9, 15, 21, 27, 33. So please make sure you fill out the entire table for this section and then write the equation. Good luck, Math 1.